All right, right now we are here in the studio exclusively with Tafari. As you know, he
Yes,
has
sir.
been working and doing, how do you say, spoken word. He's been writing poetry for a number of years. He is one of the most brightest spoken word artists out of New York City, and we just want to take the time to talk with him today. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm cool, man. Just kicking it. Just kicking it.
Okay, good, good. Now, how did you get started with poetry?
That is a funny story. Um, I want to say I started writing poetry. I started writing poetry officially in 2005. That's a year after I got into high school. Um, I can't. It's hard to say how I started. How I started writing is a different story. I used to do short stories and I used to draw and stuff like that. But I officially started writing poetry in 2005. I wanted to make quotes and like very very artistic sounding things for my, for my like maybe for like the prologue and just put little quotes here and there. And then it eventually evolved into something where I wrote full blown works. And then I started to go a little bit deeper internally, and I stopped writing so much about my characters in the book, and I started writing a lot more about myself. And I think the more in tune I got with myself, the contents of my poetry had changed a lot. And by that time, I had realized that I had become a poet, at heart, and I pretty much kept it going from there. So that's pretty much how it started.
Okay. Now, before we move on to anything else, because I know there are a lot of things that our viewers want to know about you,
Hmm.
but I heard a story a long time ago. I'm not sure if it's true, but you had two friends of yours that were feuding in high school, and I heard that one of your poems helped to save their friendship. Please tell us about that.
Um, it's really embarrassing to talk about. Actually, that's probably one of the things I am like the most embarrassed to actually talk about when it comes to that, because I didn't actually want that story to get out, nor did I really want to that whole thing to be as big as it actually was. But it is true. Um, it was pretty much blown up, all over high school, or at least our side of the high school at that time. I don't even really remember what grade I was in, but what I wrote something to both of them, and one of them showed the other one, and they had somehow stopped the quarreling because it was about to be pretty serious. Um, and that I honestly couldn't believe it. So a lot of people told me to pay more attention to my writing. And that was around the time when everybody pretty much found out that I could do that I could write in general. And so I didn't take too much. I didn't let that go in my head too much. I still kept my head down in writing, but I had a couple of mentors. I had my English teacher, Mr. Asa, and I had my history teacher, um, Mr. Woodward, and both of them very close, very very close friends of mine, and they helped to cultivate my writing tremendously, and and that's pretty much how that came to be. That's not that did happen, and it's very embarrassing to talk about, but it did happen. It did save their friendship, though. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good to hear. Good to hear. Um. Now, you also are a lyricist. Would you call yourself a lyricist more than a rapper?
Well, now I would have to. Well, definitely, I definitely don't consider myself a rapper at all. Lyricist, I would have to know the actual definition of lyricist in order to really claim to be one. I would really doubt it. I would just honestly call myself. I'm a lover of words. Uh, I'm a conduit of words and feelings, and not just mine, but other people's feelings. And I realize um, I'm able to work my feelings through my body, channel them, work them throughout, and I'm able to release them and write them. And so honestly, I just really fall under the term of either poet or writer, and I'm not too sure about the rest. There was a time where I was very early, very very young, and I was rapping and stuff like that. But I don't really consider myself to be a rapper. I definitely consider myself to be more of a poet, though. So whatever format that comes in, if it ends up sounding like I might have some lyricism in it, if it ends up sounding like I might have some rapping in it, then so be it. But I definitely just consider myself a poet. So
Okay.
I think I would stand there. Yeah.
So what would you consider your greatest struggle in terms of writing the material? What motivates you to write some of these stories that you possess?
One of my greatest struggles in writing is honestly just letting go. Sometimes I feel that my things are a little too raw. Sometimes I don't want it to sound as negative as I feel that they might be after.
Say it's not happening, but madness is overlapping in technological spaces. My eyes are made for the matters in which we cyborg in emotional situations. I floppy with hard drives and the software was overtaken. I meant that we cyborg in emotional situations. I meant that we're raising up robots inside this nation, the wonderful candy land of the internet. In exchange for our patience, we think it once and wonder about relationships and why we can't keep them and why we can't be satisfied of the transformation of the caterpillar to the butterfly. Adore the wings and fear the entire reason for the change we needed. Instant message received with a message that is prolonged. It's taken ill or it's wrong. It's not always about what you get after the pause. The underline that lies in the response that threw you off is something you need to ponder before hitting the enter bar. Of all the computers out, there's no one like